your guide here to the Pennsylvania State House. Now keep in mind that we tend to call the building by its nickname rather than its given name. The building gets a nickname in the 1820s because of what happened here in the 1770s. As a result, we tend to call it Independence Hall. But when they began building the building in 1732, its name was, and technically still is, the Pennsylvania State House. The building is originally built to provide a seat of government for the colony of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania government remained here until 1799. When they left, they auctioned off most of the building's furnishings. There are two things that we will see that we are certain had been in the building during a time I'm going to talk about. The rest of the furniture is from the period, fits the description of what was there. It had been collected over time through donation and purchase by the city. So when you're in the assembly room, admiring one of those fine Windsor chairs, like you can see in the painting in front of this room, that is showing you the signing of the United States Constitution. And you are wondering if the chair that you are looking at had ever been sat in by James Wilson. The answer is no. You have no idea, so you're half right. If you're an optimist like I am, you would like to think that some of it had been in there. Some of it probably was. But when you work for the National Park Service and identify something as being original, you can provide proof to show beyond a doubt that it was in that room at that time. And because of the manner in which the furniture had been collected, we do not have that proof. The main building is about 90% original on the outside. It is about 70% original on the inside. Wing buildings are reconstructions. These are put up in 1898 to replace the original wing buildings that were torn down in 1812 when they were putting modern office buildings on the square and when we came very close to losing the main building. Now I'm going to go over some things that we hope will help keep the building around a little bit longer, have the tour run a little bit smoother, then I will start a story, then we will take that story into the main building. First one of these, inside there is no eating, drinking, smoking, or chewing gum. If you have food or beverage in a sealed container, that's fine. It needs to stay that way while you are inside. But we spend thousands of tax dollars every year cleaning up chewing gum. So if you have gum or candy in your mouth, please use the can at the front of the room. Before you leave, you may include a self-addressed stamped envelope if you require its return. These are timed tours. We will be moving quickly. I will take your questions between the rooms and at the end of the tour. So if you have a question, just hang on. I will get to you. Photography is permitted. You may use flash and video, but please use it quickly. We're not going to have a whole lot of time in any one room of the building. Cell phones and pagers interfere with things that are inside of the building that are there for our safety. So for your safety and ours, if you have one of those, please turn it off, keep it turned off while you're on the tour. If you are planning on using a cell phone to take pictures, that is permitted. You'll need to put the ringer on silent and do not transmit. Now we need you to stay together as a group and to keep all your belongings with you at all times. Please do not set something down and walk away. I can guarantee that that will ruin the afternoon for all of us. As we are moving inside of the building, we will need to do that quietly. Finally, it is a matter of courtesy. When we go into the rooms to let those who are shorter than yourself to the front so that everyone can see. Now, I doubt that there are very few of you here today because of the building's history as the colonial capital of Pennsylvania. Most people tend to visit because of other events that occurred here. Those events are best summed up in the words of our 16th president. It is in this building that our fathers had brought forth on the continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. In 1732, when construction had begun, there were many nations in North America, including 13 very different British colonies. Each one of these colonies had been founded at different times by different people for different reasons. Each one of these colonies was a single and separate political unit, making their own laws. And if you were one of the colonists and you spoke of your country, you were not talking about Great Britain or North America. You were talking about New York or Pennsylvania or Maryland. The colonists were happy to be subjects of Great Britain because of the rights and liberties that gave them. Rights and liberties that went back to the Magna Carta.